guys, welcome in to Uma's Lotus Lounge, a live show that is on YouTube and a featured stream that is here on the Meet Me app. Welcome in. So today we have a great show for you guys. We have a great topic. My topic for today is energetic alignment, how to tune yourself to the frequency of what you want before 2026. And of course, you know, we have a lot of other great things included as part of the show, including the astrology for the week, horoscopes for the week, and tarot messages for each zodiac sign. For those of you that are watching live on Meet Me, you get the added benefit of getting your own personal message for the week by sending a 1K gift. You can spin a wheel. If there's a 1K gift, you can do that. But at the end of the show, we look to see who has sent a 1K gift. We give you bouncer status for the week, and we also give you a reading at the end of the show. But before we jump into all of that, let's talk about what our message is for this week. So welcome in. I see you guys on YouTube watching in. Hi, welcome in. And I'm just going to share with you what our message from our spirit guides are for this week. So, our message is reach for the stars. The message is clear. You are an instrument. Ooh, let me do that again. Thank you. You are an instrument of divine creativity, and you are being called upon to live up to your true heritage. Your divine energy is calling you to fully claim your unlimited potential by directing your thoughts and emotions solely towards your highest dream. Now, guys, you watched me select this card. I shuffled right here live and I selected the card, but wouldn't you believe it? This card actually ties in to the message of the week with what we're talking about today, energetic alignment, and how to tune yourself to the frequency of what you want before 2026. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and get us some background music. Thank you for that favorite, Alfredo. Thank you. And we're going to jump into our stuff for today. We're going to first start with affirmations. We do have an affirmation for everyone, but if you would like your own affirmation from your spirit guides, just say hello in the comments, drop a little comment. And whoever drops a comment, I will also pull an affirmation for you. Okay. All right. So our affirmation for the collective. You can either listen to it, write it down, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart. That's what I like to do when I'm doing affirmations. Okay. So let's do this together. I align my mind, heart, and energy with the life I am calling in. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. I align my mind, heart, and energy with the life I am calling in. One more time, take a deep breath in and exhale. We're going to do it one more time. I align my mind, heart, and energy with the life I'm calling in. Deep breath in and exhale. All right, for those of you that are live on Meet Me, just drop a hello in the comments if you would like your own affirmation. Final, I saw you. So your affirmation is, you are grateful. Gratitude awakens the good to unfold in your life. That's a great affirmation. Welcome in, everyone. This is Uma's Lotus Lounge, and today we are talking about energetic alignment, how to tune yourself to the frequency of what you want before 2026. You know, guys, we are in December now, the final stretch, the wrap up, the energetic turning point. And tonight's theme is so important for this time of year. You can't walk into a new year carrying old vibrations. You can't attract a new life with last year's energy. The same way you can't attract a new relationship with the old energy of a past relationship. This month is not about rushing, it's about aligning. And tonight we're going to talk about what alignment really is, how it works, and how to get yourself into the right frequency before 2026 arrives. All right, so that's going to be our topic. We just did our affirmations. And before we get to our topic, let's look at the astrology and horoscopes for this week. So the big news this week in astrology is that fiery Mars moves from fun-loving Sagittarius into business-minded Capricorn. So our focus will shift from parties and socializing into work, career, and getting stuff done. You know, I'm a Capricorn, and they say Capricorns are the boring sign of the universe, right? Because all we do is work, work, work. But just to let you guys know how pivotal this week is going to be, the last time that Mars was in Capricorn was in January 2024. So literally a year ago. But this journey of Mars in Capricorn, it's right on point. Some people might say, I don't want Mars in Capricorn for the holidays. I want Mars in Sagittarius, right? Where we could party and have fun and hang out. But think about this for a second. The holiday season requires not only a sense of joy and hanging out, but it also requires focus, effort, crossing things off your to-do list. Maybe you have to buy the presents for your family members and wrap the presents. Maybe you got to keep, a control of your schedule. You got all these things to go to. So Mars moving into Capricorn this week is amazing. It's going to help us get to where we need to be, do what we need to do, and still have fun, you know? Mars is going to stay in Capricorn until January 23rd, 2026. So I feel like this energy of the Mars in Capricorn, we're going to be productive this week. How many of you have started seeing that productive energy come in, right? Where you're like crossing things off your to-do list, you're getting on a schedule, you're getting more organized, you're getting things done, right? So that's what's happening this week. Mars moves to Capricorn from Sagittarius. All right, let's get into all of the zodiac signs. Don't worry if you are now watching me, we didn't start yet. Each zodiac sign is going to get their horoscope for the week. And after our topic, energetic alignment, you're also going to be getting a one-card message from me, a tarot card reader. For those of you that send a 1K gift, you'll also get your own personal message at the end of the show. All right? So we're going to start our horoscopes for the week with Aries. Do we have any Aries in the house? All right, Aries, you're going to be feeling pulled in two directions this week because 3 planets will make you want to travel and get out of Dodge. You want to explore and have fun. Ski slopes beckon, rum and eggnog before a roaring fire. A new romance with someone different might be percolating on the back burner. However, the shift of your ruler, fiery Mars, to sensible, hardworking Capricorn will arouse your ambition, especially if you identify with a project you're doing. It will all be systems go. please be aware that your determination might create conflict with authority figures, parents, employers, or bosses. So try to make your goals their goals or vice versa so that it is a win-win. All right? That is the message for Aries. Taurus, this week, you're more than usually concerned with money, shared property, taxes, debt, insurance matters, and inheritances. It's a money month. And the good news is that money will come your way. This is a favorable time for financial negotiations because you can attract money through a spouse, a partner, or a financial institution. It's an excellent time to seek out a loan or financial support. Meanwhile, Mars has shifted signs, encouraging you to do creative intellectual work. You will defend your views, Taurus. You will do something to expand your mind. You might be involved in legal battles, but pack your bags because you will travel. All right? That is the message for Taurus. And by the way, for anybody who's wanting to know where I got these horoscopes and the weekly astrology from, I went to georgianichols.com for the weekly horoscopes and the astrology this week. All right? Okay, let's move on to Gemini. Gemini, with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus opposite your sign this week, your focus is on partners, spouses, and close friends. Note, you still need some more sleep. Mercury will increase communications between yourself and others, but you might have some minor disputes. Mercury will also help to clarify things. Venus will smooth things over in all your relationships because it will promote warm relations with everyone. Meanwhile, for the first time in 2 years, Mars has entered your money house. Cha-ching! Stirring up potential conflict about shared property and jointly held resources, including inheritances. For example, you might disagree how to spend a fixed amount of money. What do you want? That's the question Geminis will be asking themselves this week. Welcome in, everyone. We are doing the weekly horoscopes for all the signs. Don't worry if you missed your sign. I am also, thank you, doing readings for those of you that send me a wheel at the end of the show. All right, Cancer, thank you. Cancer, you're in work mode, baby. Taking a hands-on approach to things. You've also wired to do mental work as well, which is why you're more attentive to details. Venus is supporting your desire to beautify your home for the holidays. Venus can also promote flirtations with work colleagues, some of which might blossom. Who knows? The big news is that for the first time in 2 years, Mars is opposing your sign, which is a challenge. Mars can create tension with those who are closest to you, but on the upside, Mars will give you the courage to put your cards on the table. Thank you so much. Everyone, please hit a fave on the top 3 gifters of the stream. And we have Black Ice Agent as number 1. Leo, this is a playful week. Enjoy sports, outings, socializing, and time spent with kids. You'll enjoy using your mind for amusing pastimes, reading, writing, and playing games. And you won't feel you have to justify everything you do now with a practical move. All right, Virgo, home, family, and your private life are your focus this week. Some of you are more involved with a parent. Many are having family discussions and doing home repairs. You're also redecorating and doing things to make your home more elegant because you want everyone, including yourself, to enjoy your surroundings. Guard against being lavish and spending too much money, which you might be tempted to do. For the first time in 2 years, Mars has moved into a playful part of your chart, giving you permission to do your own thing. You'll be like Popeye. I am what I am. Enjoy amusing activities, be playful with kids, and romance will be hot. It's a week of fun and pleasure. Libra, this is a fast-paced, busy week full of errands, appointments, and short trips. Plus, you're talking to everyone. This is because 3 planets are in your house of communications, making you eager to share your ideas. This is not the time to settle down and relax. Your daily tempo is fast, and you need intellectual stimulation. Venus will attract social opportunities to you and promote pleasant exchanges with others. You'll enjoy the beauty of your everyday surroundings. Alas, what that large print giveth, the small print taketh away. This week's shift of Mars brings increased chaos and activity on the home front. Consider the season. Do what you can to keep the peace, and remember that patience is the antidote to anger. Scorpio, this week you're focused on your assets. For example, you might look at what you own to determine if it's an asset or a liability. More than any other sign, you can purge what you don't need. You might also use your assets to celebrate or throw a party or give others pleasure. It's a great week for financial negotiations. You'll be laughing all the way to the bank. You might buy beautiful clothes, jewelry, and art objects. For the first time in 2 years, Mars is in your house of communications, making you identify with your opinions. Beware of trying to provoke others. Don't be defiant. Be nice to everyone. Sagittarius, this continues to be an energetic time for you with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in your sign. You are empowered. You're eager to communicate with everyone, and you look good. Buy wardrobe items for yourself because this will please you. At this time, you're in the enviable position of attracting what you need to you quite easily. However, you can be a big spender. We know this. On Monday, Mars enters your money house, urging you to spend money because suddenly you seem to identify with what you own. Be careful about being extravagant and making purchases you will later regret. On the upside, Mars will also help you work hard to earn money. Another cha-ching! Capricorn, this week holds conflicting messages for you. There are 3 planets hidden in your chart, which means by extension, you want to keep a low profile and relax behind the scenes or work alone. You have that sense of waiting before your birthday arrives, so you're taking this time to mentally and physically regroup, and rightly so. Nevertheless, for the first time in 2 years, fiery Mars enters your sign on Monday, bringing a very different influence. Mars wants to introduce activity into your life. It will inspire you to work hard, make you more of a fighter for your rights because you'll be in a warrior mode. The upshot, you might relax at home and take it easy, then slip into a phone booth and reappear, ready for anything. Aquarius, on Monday, Mars moves into a hidden part of your chart for the first time in 2 years. This might be a bit challenging because this placement can make you your own worst enemy. You might create a bad impression on someone without meaning to, so be aware of this. And finally, Pisces. You look fabulous because the sun is at the top of your chart, casting you in a flattering spotlight. Mercury will help to make plans for your professional life by promoting favorable discussions with bosses, parents, and authority figures, while Venus will attract people who can help you run your professional life smoothly. Venus also promotes a romance, so be on the lookout for love this week. And there you have it, the astrology of the week and the weekly horoscopes for each of the zodiac signs. All right, let's dive into tonight's main theme, energetic alignment, how to tune yourself to the frequency of what you want before 2026. So here's the truth, guys. Your energy gets there before you do. Your vibration is what attracts opportunities, people, lessons, and timelines. Alignment is not about doing more. It's about becoming a match for what you want. So my key point number one is alignment is frequency. You know, I own a center, a wellness center. I'm the CEO of my own business. And for 16 years, I did work the wrong way. Well, not for 16 years, maybe for about 12 years. I did work the wrong way, which is I just hustled, right? There's like songs, every day I'm hustling, right? I just hustled all the time. And my motto was, once you're up and you're working, right? You're not lurking. You're making moves. But that's not entirely true. That's that hustle culture. You know, you got to keep moving. You got to keep doing things. And that's kind of toxic, right? The truth is you got to get into alignment. So once I started doing that, meditating, taking time outs, resting, journaling, you know, all the things to stay present, my business and my life started getting better, right? So the key point number one that I'm going to make is alignment is frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and habits all broadcast a frequency. And the universe responds to that frequency, not your wishes. If your wishes is to lose weight and fit into a size 4 pair of jeans, but that's all you do, you're not going to lose the weight. You're not going to fit into those jeans. But if your wishes are to lose weight and fit into a size 4 pair of jeans, and then your thoughts are, I can do this, right? And then your emotions are, I am ready for a change. And your belief is, of course I can do this. All I got to do is get up and show up every day. And then your habits are, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to get up and show up at that gym and do 30 minutes. Whatever I do, I'm going to do 30 minutes, and that's where I'm going to start. Then guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to lose the weight. You're going to fit into those jeans, right? So key point number one, alignment is frequency. Key point number two, misalignment blocks manifestation. If you want peace, but you live in chaos, frequencies conflict, right? And think about like being on streams. How many of you say all the time, I want peace and love and light in my life. I want positive vibes. But you go to the streams where you know it's toxic. You hang around toxic people. You indulge in toxic behaviors. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to live a life of peace and love and light? Or are you going to get what you're putting out? If you ask for love, but you don't feel worthy, that signal is scrambled. Why would the universe send you a mate who absolutely loves and adores you when you don't love and adore yourself? If you want abundance, but you expect struggle, then the vibration's off. You can't want abundance and want to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but then be afraid of the work it takes to get there, right? So point number two, misalignment can actually block your manifestation. And point number three, December is an alignment month. It's not the month to exactly start big projects. It's the month to fine-tune your energy. Who do you want to be in 2026? December is the month to shift into that version of yourself. So, how can you align right now? Now you're getting it. You're like, okay, Uma, I get it. I just got to align, align, align. How do you align right now? One, the easiest way is to clear your emotional field. You have to release the heavier emotions. Release resentment, heavy energy, old patterns, right? If you go to the holiday parties and you see Uncle Stan and you don't like Uncle Stan for whatever reason, you're holding this grudge because of something he said to you 20 years ago, let it go. All right? He probably doesn't remember or probably feels remorse about it. And even if he didn't, just let it go. Choose your thoughts intentionally. No more autopilot. And we do that all the time, especially when we're around people who are doing or saying negative things. It's easy to jump in with our own negative things, right? So choose your thoughts intentionally. Also, start learning to trust your intuition. Alignment is guided. It isn't forced. So when you're thinking about what you want to do, follow your intuition. That will lead you right to what you need to do. And match the feeling now. Feel abundant now. You don't have to have $1 million in your bank account to feel abundant. You could look around your tiny 1-bedroom apartment and feel abundance because it's yours. Feel loved now, even if you're single, right? You can have brothers, sisters, a mom, a dad, friends, co-workers who care about you. So what? Their love is not good because it's not romantic love, right? Feel abundance now. Feel love now. You can also remember that alignment is not about chasing. It's about becoming magnetic. Okay? So when I see people, I work with people with soul alignment coaching. And when I see people that are like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that and everything, I remind them, I'm like, 2 things I remind them. 1, we're called human beings, not human doings, right? So we're meant to be. And then 2, with manifesting, it's called the law of attraction, not the law of effort. So we have to be careful that we're not just doing too much effort and not taking the time to set our intention. All right? That's an important point to note. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for the faves, the gifts. I can't see the comments. I realize now that my comments have frozen on the screen. So I came in on a second device and now I can see you guys again. So to anybody who said hello to me that were coming in, so sorry if I didn't say hello back. But yeah, my screen was frozen. So hello again. Yes, welcome in. I was like, why is nobody commenting on what I'm saying? I'm giving you guys really good information, right? So now I know you guys are there. So this is what I want to close with. This month or the remainder of this month, don't hustle, align, right? Align. Because what you align with today becomes your reality in 2026. So let me ask you guys, now that I can see your comments, what are you aligning with, right? What are you aligning with? And I see some questions in the comments. Don't worry, we'll get to those at the end of the show. I just want to finish off. I have to do the tarot messages for each of the zodiac signs now and some positive news, which I'm going to be doing right now. Okay. So why do I have positive news as part of my show? I feel like the world today, thank you. I feel like the world today focuses so much on the negative. Even here on streams, people say, oh, like, Uma, you don't go to people's streams. you tend to like just stay in your own stream. It's not that I don't want to go and visit. It's just that sometimes I go and I visit people's streams just to say hi or just to hang out or join a conversation. And it's like really toxic. It's really negative, you know? And I just don't have time. I'm a busy CEO, so I just don't have time for that, you know. I'm just more with all right, let's just keep it moving, right? So I came up with a positive news segment in my show because I want to remind you guys that one, life exists outside of these apps. Life exists online and offline, right? And then also too, there's so many wonderful people doing wonderful things in the world, and that's where we need to spend our attention on. All right. Before I get into my positive news, did you know that neuroscience has shown that constant complaining and criticizing can damage the brain area that controls focus? Did you guys know that? Yeah. So neuroscience has shown that the way you speak and think can physically shape your mind. Studies reveal that frequent complaining and constant criticism activate stress circuits in the brain. When these circuits stay active for too long, they release chemicals that weaken neurons responsible for focus, clarity, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Over time, this repeated activation makes the brain more sensitive to stress and less efficient at concentrating. Experts explain that negative speech patterns train the brain to stay in a defensive state. This state reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for higher level thinking and attention. When this cortex is disrupted, your ability to stay focused, solve problems, and think creatively decreases. The more you complain, the more your brain defaults to negativity, creating a loop that slowly damages cognitive performance. Neuroscience also warned that being around people who constantly complain has a similar effect. The brain mirrors the emotional state it observes. This means negativity is contagious, and your mind can adopt harmful patterns simply through repeated exposure. The good news is that the brain can also rewire itself towards healthier habits. So, what are some things we can do to rewire our brain? Practicing gratitude, reframing thoughts, and limiting negative conversations can protect your cognitive health and strengthen neural circuits linked to attention and emotional balance. Welcome in, everyone. So just remember, this article is telling you that your brain grows in the direction you train it in. Choose thoughts that support mental clarity, not those that weaken it. Okay? So what I said earlier about who you hang out with, who you associate with, and how you spend your time, all of that is important in your brain function. Okay, so that's the first bit of good news that I have for you. Did you know, are you guys ready for this? Canada opened a first ever free grocery store. Yeah, in Saskatchewan. The Regina Food Bank has launched the BMO Asha Towik, I'm not even going to do that. I just messed up that name. Community Food Hub, a groundbreaking choice model store where people who need food assistance can shop for what they actually need, just like in a regular supermarket. Everything inside is free for registered clients, and the shelves are filled with everyday essentials, locally sourced foods, and culturally relevant options. The goal is simple, yet powerful, to bring dignity, choice, and relief to families facing food insecurity. The new model is a beautiful step forward for Canada, showing that community support can look empowering, respectful, and full of hope. This was the article that I got talking about this completely free Completely free supermarket. What do you guys think? Do you think we could do that in the US? Have a completely free supermarket? I think the way this model works is that you can shop for everything up to $200. Yeah, up to $200 every 2 weeks. So it's limiting people, you know? It's not like you can come here every week. Um, and then if you do come here, you can buy things up to 200, not more. And I think that's amazing. Do you think that we can do that here in the US? What do you guys think? Yeah, Blaze said that would be dope, especially for homeless. You know, that's I every winter time, Blaze, that's what I think about because sometimes in my house it feels drafty, right? And it's like kind of like cold and I'm like, "Oh, I got to put on an extra sweater." But then when I think about people outside that literally are homeless, having to sleep in cars or sleep on the side of the roads, you know, I'm really glad when I see companies and people doing things out of the goodness of their heart for people, you know, where things are not as much. All right, my last bit of positive news that you guys are going to love. This is a really good one. So there's a picture here of native people, right? And it says the Vatican returns sacred artifacts held for centuries to their indigenous owners. Look at that. So you see this girl and you want to know, like, what is she hugging? What is she putting her head on, right? And I'm going to go ahead and share this information with you. So for more than a century, they sat in quiet Vatican vaults, unseen, untouched, and far from the people to whom they truly belonged. This week, dozens of sacred indigenous artifacts finally began their journey home. Inside the wooden crates were more than 60 cultural treasures taken from First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities in Canada over 100 years ago. Among them, a rare Inuit sealskin kayak, painstakingly crafted by hand, a vessel that once carried both survival and identity across the waters. That's what she was holding on to. These pieces were never museum objects. They were living parts of culture. Thank you. Taken during an era when indigenous traditions were suppressed. Families were torn apart and communities were stripped of the very items that held their stories. For decades, they remained in the Vatican museums, locked away in collections most people never even knew existed. Now, after years of advocacy and healing efforts led by indigenous leaders, the Vatican has agreed to return them. Elders and community representatives say the return isn't simply about objects, it's about restoring memory, reconnecting family with ancestral craftsmanship, and healing wounds that have spanned generations. These items once traveled thousands of miles without consent, and now for the first time in over a century, they are traveling back with purpose and with honor. So what this girl is holding here is a kayak made out of seal skin. This is like amazing to me, right? Ceremonial tools, cultural objects woven from skill, survival, and spirit. Some say it's a homecoming long overdue. What do you guys think, right? It's wild how much of those artifacts actually mean to people. Right, right. And I feel like I know a lot of people don't think too much about these things, but let me ask you guys, do you guys have any family heirlooms? Do you have, whether it was a necklace that was passed down from your mother, from her grandmother, from her great-great-grandmother, right? Do you guys have jewelry? Or maybe it's a car, or maybe it's a piece of clothing or a blanket, right? All of those things are precious to people. I know for me with my kids, since they were babies, I've been collecting, because we don't have that in my family heirlooms besides jewelry that, passed down from ages to ages. But I wanted to like start that with my kids where I saved their baby blankets and their first baby outfits and, their first lock of hair. And I'm like, they can pass this to their kids. And then we have like now established heirloom things to pass down the generations. Wow. Blaze said he has a pocket watch his grandfather gave his father years ago. And I'm guessing that that's probably going to come to you too as well. That is amazing. All right, guys, that is the positive news for today. Hi, guys, welcome in. We're coming down to the end of my show. This is Uma's Lotus Lounge here every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to end with our Tarotscopes. And anyone who has sent a 1K gift will also get a personalized message for the week. So that's going to be Black Ice Agent. Thank you so much. That's my baby. Thank you so much, babe, for dropping that for me. But he actually left. He had to go to work. So I guess he won't be getting that. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull a card. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Uma. I own a metaphysical wellness center, and I do readings and healings and soul alignment coaching and classes for a living. That's what I do. So I love to bring that, thank you, and share with you guys what I do, to help you on your path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one card for each of the 12 zodiac signs. And like I said, if you have a question, you want a tarot card reading, or, you just want more in-depth information about what's happening this week for you, it's just a wheel or the Santa sack to get your message. All right. Let's start at the beginning of the year and work our way down. So we're going to start with Aries. We're going to start with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Do we have any Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in here? All right. Aries, you got the Lovers card. Okay, so love is on your mind, Aries. And I feel like this is like a soulmate relationship. So for those of you that are in a relationship with your soulmates, I predict a good week for you this week. You're in your element. The fire energy is here. And it feels like you're probably shopping, gift wrapping, getting some presents together for your loved ones. But for those of you that are single, I feel like this message is about coming to in alignment with the soulmate of yourself. Self-care, right? Self-love. That's what that message would be about for Aries. So time to take time out to nurture yourself. I'm kind of laughing in my head because literally just before I came on here, my Aries best friend reached out to me and she's like, hey, do you want to go to the spa this week? And I just realized it just lined up with the message. Just so look at that, right? All right, Leo, you are having an awakening moment this week. You're beginning to look at things differently. This is traditionally the Hanged Man in traditional tarot. And the idea of this is like about looking at things upside down. So how can you change the way you look at a current problem or issue in your life? And how can you turn it around based off of a different mindset? Okay, that is the message for Leo. Sagittarius, all your wishes are coming true this week. 9 of Water. Look at that, Sag. You are just glowing. You're in your element. The 9 of Water is a wish come true card, and concerns fade away. So Sag, I feel like that's exactly what's happening for you. Things are just moving so quickly and effortlessly. It's like, wow, I don't really got to do anything. Everything's taken care of. All right, let's go to the water signs. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You're welcome. Pisces, you got King of Air. Now, you're not an air sign. You're a water sign, but you're being told to be more logical this week and rely less on your emotions. So as your emotions come up, Pisces, you're being called to follow more your logical side in life. And there is an opportunity this week for you to be seen as a leader. So definitely practicing emotional control. Cancer, you got, Pisces got King of Air. Cancer got King of Water. So you were asking to be the leader in your emotions, Cancer. This is about like loving others, thinking about others, coming outside your shell to have some sort of, commitment or community with others. It's about playing nice and opening your heart and mind to people around you. This could also mean like being charitable, and taking care of others. And Scorpio, the Justice card. So the Justice card is about wrongs being right. So if things were done to you, Scorpio, if you feel that the universe owes you, this would be a good week. 6. This would be a good week. All right, Scorpio, for that to come back around. So I feel for you, decisions will be made in your favor, Scorpio, this week. That's what I feel. They'll be made in your favor this week, and things will just turn around and look great. I'm thinking about this girl on TikTok. I stream on TikTok, and she came in today and she said, I have to tell you, a reading you did for me, everything came true. Like, she's like, there were specifically 3 things you said out of the 5 things you said, and they were so specific, and they specifically came through. And she said she's going to write me a review, but she wanted to tell me that personally, and then also like just call me and tell me personally, because it's that personal. I can't remember clearly, but thought that was really nice. All right, let's get to the earth signs. Capricorn, Queen of Earth. That is who you are this week, right? You're in your element. Life is going good. Money is good. Business is good. So now you're trying to spend time with your loved ones this week. This card is about making time for those around you, being more in the community, and just loving on the people that you consider your friends. And I love that because I'm a Capricorn, and I'm glad that we got that card, because literally this morning I called one of my besties because I haven't talked to him in forever. And I was like, I know, don't hate me, right? I know I've been like in work mode, but he's my bestie because he's a Capricorn rising. So he understands when you're in that flow, you're in that flow. All right, Taurus, 8 of Air. Be aware of your mindset, Taurus. You might be feeling trapped. You might have illusions of feeling, like lack of self-confidence. So don't be afraid to take action this week. Don't be afraid to break out of these perceived limitations. These are illusions. They're not real. Remind yourself, Taurus, that only you could prevent you from moving ahead. No one else, right? And Virgo, you got the sun. Look at you go. This is a fantastic week for Virgo. You're just on top of the world. Success comes to you. Ease, joy comes to you. A lot of happy outcomes. So things that you've been waiting on, we can see them start to turn around for you. And finally, let's get to the air signs. We have Aquarius. You also are struggling with your mindsets, right? 9 of Air. This is like pessimistic thoughts. There may be some heaviness there, Aquarius. Just try to resist it as much as you can. Remember what I said earlier with the positive news. Your mindset is creating your reality, right? So if you're having a negative mindset about things, change it around. Nobody can do that for you. You got to do that for yourself. Gemini, you're being asked to release this week. The release card is the death card in traditional tarot. So this is asking you, Gemini, to let go. Let go and trust. Whatever it is that you're letting go of, it's coming back to you times 10, right? So don't get too emotionally attached to this. Just let go. And finally, Libra. Libra, you got 2 of Air. Your heart and mind is at war this week, and you're trying to make a decision on something. So you have to have like a sit down, take some time to meditate, take some time to really think things out. Because if you keep this war going on, it's going to start to affect your manifestations. You have to be very clear in your mindset about what it is that you're creating. All right? Those are the messages for the 12 zodiac signs. I appreciate you guys so much. So I'm coming down to the end of my show. I don't have anybody to do readings for. So this is how I'm going to end this show. I'm going to remind you guys that next week is Christmas. If you are not ready, you need to get yourself ready. Now, when I say you're not ready, I'm not talking about buying gifts and all of that. I'm talking about your mindset, your energy. Are you ready to fully commit to being with people and spending time with them and being in the holiday spirit? Because the one thing we know about time is that it speeds up, and soon it's going to be March, right? So what are you doing this week to get ready for Christmas next week? Are you beginning to slow down, right? That is all the questions that you want to be asking yourself as you get ready for our holiday next week. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. To everyone watching live on Meet Me, on YouTube, listening in on my podcast, I truly, truly appreciate you. And I want to end by saying happy holidays, okay? I feel like we're going to have a great holiday. All right, bye guys.